It's Hunter here.
It's Marcus.
It's Perry.
Welcome back to another episode of Simply Winning. This is episode 6, and today we are going to talk about degrees don't always matter.
So we want to preface this with we are talking more towards the creative audience.
Yes.
This can still go for other things. Obviously not for like a doctor, accounting, lawyers, all those people that have to go to college for this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people that could be self-made on their own, YouTube, freaking Skillshare, all these cool little spots that you can go out and you can do your own thing. We're talking to those kind of people. So yeah, just to preface that, because we do have some incredible clients that are at universities, and we know a lot of people. And our very own Hunter Franklin here has a 4-year degree. So
well, so does this guy.
Yeah.
So it's like he had to go to get. You have to go get certified in certain things. But anyways, yeah,
I'm not certified to be at this table right now.
No, he's not. He's not certified to run this soundboard because he didn't go to business school, right? Okay, so basically, stop thinking you have to get a degree for a backup plan, or thinking it's going to set you up for success. Like, I hear people say, well, why are you getting a degree if you're going to do creative, right? Well, like a backup plan. Well, why are you wasting valuable time while video is hotter than ever trying to get a backup plan in case it doesn't work? Because if you literally can just pick up a camera and shoot decent, you're going to make money. Like, even if you suck at business, you're going to learn enough after you get some money to learn business by failing than going to school for it for 4 years when they're really not teaching you anything different than you can just do on your own or YouTube, you know?
Hot topic. At what point if you're in the creative field, are you now procrastinating by going to college? Are you doing it? Do you think some people do it just to procrastinate because they don't really know how to do stuff? So they're like, instead of wanting to like learn it themselves, they go to college because that's like the right thing to do because it buys you time essentially. Mm-hmm. But do you think that's a thing?
I think it's a thing.
Yeah.
I think people just go to college. They don't like pursue it on the side when they actually could be.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
ooh, that's good stuff. Yeah.
A lot of people have a lot of time, but they say they don't. And I feel like they're just using college as like a backup plan. And like, oh, I'm in college, I'll do it after I graduate. But if you're a grinder, you do both.
Yeah. I don't get what people think. Like, I got to go to college to learn this. In this day and age, I literally go to YouTube to learn it.
Yeah.
Like, if I was like, I need to learn DaVinci Resolve, I would just watch YouTube videos, not go to a filmmaking school to learn DaVinci Resolve. Like, everything they teach. And on YouTube, it's condensed really fast. You can learn a lot in a little amount of time. You can speed it up. You can go at your pace. You can pause, go cook dinner, come back, stay up till 3 a.m. You pay to go sit professor for an hour, and he only gives you so much at a time, and then you got like usually sometimes a week or a few days before you go see him again. You don't even practice it.
Yeah, the facts still stand that you can go to a film school right now for anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
To a film school, I think somewhere in there, and learn stuff about film.
Yeah.
But you can also I can go right now on the YouTube and go to fulltimefilmmaker.com. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah.
And get a freaking subscription course or whatever they do, their package, and learn all this stuff, and learn how to deal with clients, and get templates, and get presets, and all this, and LUTs, and all these cool things for editing for like less than $2,000.
Yeah, I think it's
forever.
I don't even know how much it is, but it's way
somewhere
less
in there.
Better than 50,000.
Yeah.
I want to preface that education is important. That's the whole reason we're here. Education is important. Knowledge is very important. It's just, how do you get it? How much time? What are you going about it? Because some schooling and all that, like, depending on what you're going into, we already prefaced at the beginning, it's very important. And I feel like for younger kids, I went to school up to a certain age. Like, once you hit high school, I feel like all the way up to there, I felt school was like pretty good. I felt like, because you're getting around kids, you get some structure in your life. I've never been homeschooled or been around it, so I can't really compare. And I'm not saying it's bad or good, but even as a parent, like, I think you should be teaching your kids extra outside of school. So it's literally how much effort you put in. But to think that in this day and age that you literally have to go for 4 years, and another huge thing we're about to talk about is going into debt for a lot of this too. It also depends on your situation, and I'm going to tell about my story and why I went, but like, you shouldn't be going into super big debt for a lot of this stuff, because it's just not going to get you ahead. It's not worth it in most cases.
No, you're right. I mean, I could speak to like the homeschooling stuff. I was homeschooled until high school.
Yeah.
And there are things like you want to be around people and make those connections, especially in those younger ages and whatnot. I didn't really have a huge issue because I played sports as well, so I knew a lot of the kids that were going into it. I think like the whole structure of school going into like freshman year and all that stuff was different. I still had a 3.5 or 7 GPA, for high school, so it was actually really good. And I didn't go to the 8 years before that, you know what I mean? So like I got out of it pretty good. So there's ways you can do it. And then college, I went to college for 2 years. I was like this exact thing we're talking about. Didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I played soccer, so I enjoyed soccer. So I wasted a bunch of money playing soccer, even though I had a scholarship, which is good. If I didn't have a scholarship, I would have been screwed. Know a lot of people that went and played, didn't have scholarships, and then now they are screwed because they have a lot of debt going to an expensive university. But just going there and you if you don't know what you want to do, and if you do, and you're in this kind of field where you can go and learn these different things for way cheaper, there's really not any reason besides the facts that you tell yourself about the connections. And in your case, those were really good. But you have a different kind of story than going into debt. So, but obviously you can make connections, but you can make connections outside of that anyway.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And like the last podcast we just talked about bringing value. If you can bring enough value, you're going to bring a lot of connections with that value. 100%.
So if you listen to the last podcast, you're literally going to be setting yourself up.
Yeah, so I wouldn't base anything on just connections. That's one big thing. And then I wouldn't base it on what your parents want, because that's just stupid. Your parents are just a product of their generation. That's what it is, you know, and how they think.
But things are slowly changing, I feel like.
They are,
I think a lot of our younger... So kind of like switching over that, I feel like Perry has good views because he like went to school and I mean, I'm going to let him tell his story, but Perry, you went to school for like networking, engineering and stuff like that. And then you did that for a while and now you're not even doing it. But I want you to kind of tell your story from like you were like whenever you can think back to creating or editing or YouTube stuff and then doing that while in school, like tell a quick little recap and then I'll go and then Marcus will go of like our experiences.
Yeah. So I always knew I wanted to do video. I always did video on the side and like, YouTube videos back in the day, like with my friends just messing around. But in college, that's when I worked with the esports team and like different organizations within college, like the dance marathon, making the recap videos and like helping them out. That's when I really found my path. And I met a lot of people through college. I'm grateful for that. I met Mark Benno, which connected me with Matt, which connected me with you guys.
That's crazy.
Which is absolutely crazy. That's like one big positive from college. But yeah, like you said, you can make connections outside of college too, but it's a little more difficult for, I guess, some people to like find those people. But yeah, going to college, I was at class. I always thought it was a little bit of a waste of time. Professors like, put the textbook on the board and you just copy it down, then you just take a test over it, and that was it. But yeah, went home, always edited every day, pretty much, for clients on YouTube.
I think you got a lot of your troubleshooting skills though from college.
Yeah,
college, at least learning your first job,
yeah.
which college allows you to get your first job essentially.
Yeah.
Right. So
what college taught me most, I don't know if you agree with this, but college taught me most about efficiency because I would try to get all the homework done as freaking fast as possible or find ways to get out of stuff and be online or anything I could do. And so it taught me to like communicate and be efficient because I didn't want to do it so I could work on my other stuff.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. But
yeah. Finesse the system.
Yeah.
I'm not saying cheat. I'm just saying finesse the system. In different ways.
But yeah, I did that for a while, and then I graduated college. I always just had it as a backup plan. I don't know why, but I was doing both at the same time. So like, it was like, why not?
Yeah.
And then I got my first job as a network engineer, and I was doing that full time, still doing photo, video, mostly just video editing. And I started doing like, events like EDM festivals and stuff. And that was fun. And then that's sort of around the time I met Mark and then Matt and then you guys. So it kind of like lined up really good. Then I moved down here. So but I was a network engineer for about 2 years. So
that's sick. No,
yeah,
that's
I learned
cool.
a lot.
Yeah, I know you did. Like you like your troubleshooting skills.
Anything.
You can, bro. It's crazy.
Yes, that's positive.
Nuts, guys.
Yeah, so like that's the thing. I don't want to hate on college. I went to college for 2 years. I had a blast in college. I learned a lot of confidence in college.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of like, I guess, people skill. I like how to talk to people, that kind of thing. But not like talk to like people that are above you. Just talk to like peers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your friends. But yeah, go into what because your experience is a little different.
Yeah, so my experience is different, and I mean, I feel like all three of ours, definitely his because he dropped out, but he'll talk about that. But so, long story short, I always made like YouTube videos. Like way back when I had a little YouTube channel, I had different ones, whether it was gaming or outdoors and stuff. I was really into like survival stuff. So I knew like I was like just had fun making videos, right? And then I got a camera in high school, and I started shooting pictures of like nature stuff for my family or friends at the time. And then I got a few gigs. The business guy, I'm like, hey, headshots. I posted about it on social media and started doing local stuff. But then I got really serious. I'm like, I upgraded a few months later after buying that camera and got a video camera, Canon 80D. And then I started shooting some video. But then I met this guy, started doing more with Growing Media in Southern Illinois. And then it was like time, like, dang, I can't even really shoot good 4K and slow motion and all this. So I got the Sony A7R III. And that's what really just rocketed me.
You got a full-frame camera before I did.
Yeah, I got a full-frame camera before Marcus.
You did.
He actually pushed me to buy it before he even had one. But yeah, I had the full frame.
I had some expenses
at the same time, I was in high school. So I remember I did a lot of the photo video stuff in high school on the side. I played basketball. I got injured, so I think I learned more and played a lot of video games then, which I could have spent more time learning my craft. But regardless, and then high school or college came around, and I didn't want to play basketball, sports, or anything. I just wanted to focus on photo, video, and making money. And so the only reason I went to college, really, in my junior college, because I had no desire to go to a 4-year right off the bat. I didn't like partying, going out, and all that stuff. So it didn't really I didn't have an appetite for it, right? So I went to college actually for free for 2 years. John and Logan College, great community college. Honestly, I think it's one of the better ones in the nation, to be honest. And yeah, through the whole time, I just took these accounting classes that I didn't enjoy because I knew that I would just pay an accountant to do it. So why the heck am I learning this?
That's so true.
The only fundamentals that I got out of it was stuff that I could already learn, like already knew about profit and loss and all that. Yeah, as a business, you need to know that. And there are some accounting things that can like set you apart. But we have people that do all that. We pay for it. So it's like whatever. Yeah, built up my business through college and made way more than college even cost, even though I went for free. And luckily, I had great people supporting me and stuff like that. But fast forward, I had to decide whether to go to further education, right? I need to decide if I'm going to go for 2 more years or whatever because I needed to finish out this degree. And it just hit me. I'm like, I really don't think I need to go. Like, why am I going for more business just to get a bachelor's? And I brought it to my parents for the first time, and I was so nervous. I'm like, guys, I really don't want to go continue school. There's really no need. And at the time, him and I were talking about because he was single at the time. No.
Yeah, I think,
it
might have just gotten rid of.
I don't know. He was seeing Autumn at the time, which obviously is now his fiance, but it wasn't in the stages like super deep or living together. So it was kind of like we were going to get a place together and kind of do video and YouTube and all that stuff in Southern Illinois. And my parents at first, dude, they were like, no, like you're going. And I think part of it was they only went for 2 years. So I was technically like a first time college student. That's what they call you, like going for 4 years and getting a bachelor's. So they had worked hard to set up success, and they were like, no, we think you should go. Well, it got closer to the date, and my parents actually switched. They're like, because they saw how much money I was making, right? And they were like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you need to go to school. And so I was like, are you kidding me? Now I'm thinking I need to go to school. But it wasn't really because of my parents that changed my view. I just felt like God calling me to go to come to Nashville for some reason. And it actually turned out amazing because I really believe that's why we're all here. It literally brought us here, the connections that brought us here, seeing what Nashville is. And even though I had to go through 2 more freaking years of school, I met a lot of great people and a lot of great connections in business. And I mean, we met Zach, which has actually led to way more. Just that right there
incredible.
Has paid off more than
that is like the only reason like why you should went to college.
And going back to that, I've been very blessed. I didn't get handed all my money. I had to pay for part of my schooling. I also got some scholarships. And then luckily my grandpa and my grandma have been very blessed. They're hard workers and investments that they helped out some. They didn't like pay for it all, but I got a good help there. So everything just lined up where I wasn't going to be in debt after school. So that's really important. I really think if I wouldn't have got any of that or scholarships or stuff like that, which I did put in work that got me scholarships, so it's kind of like paying for it that way too. If I would have went into major debt, I wouldn't have went because in my mind it just wasn't worth it. But everything kind of lined up, and I think God just had that lined up. And so my story's a little different that way. And now we're freaking building Brotherdale, a cool freaking clip. there was these business competitions that you'd like pitch, right? Business pitch competitions. And I pitched Brotherdale at every single one. And at every single one, I felt like I just got viewed as a photo and video company that really just like, everyone's like photo and video. Until they really see what we do, they don't understand. And then it just didn't really go anywhere with Brotherdale, right? And then everything I dreamed about and we pitched pretty much is happening. We're going to bring on more people, full-time people. We got Perry and others, contract workers. We're going to have a space. Even though this is in our dream studio, we're freaking in a 3-story townhouse in Nashville.
Make it work.
And I said that.
Crazy to
and
think
we
about.
wanted more gear, and we're buying gear and what we want, and we're traveling the world doing what we love.
And we got plans for a studio, baby.
And we
Let's
got
go.
we got big
gonna
plans
be
here at
insane.
Brotherdale. So
we got massive plans.
So-
Massive plans that might sound like planes. What's up, private jet? Let's go.
Brotherdale Jet.
So before Marcus tells the story, little recap. Everything lined up. I didn't want to go into debt, and everything, like I said, just worked out. And I did take a risk going to school and coming down to Nashville. It was a risk, and still doing my creative. You guys don't understand though. It wasn't just easy.
Yeah.
I had 4 freaking. I remember this. I had every freaking weekend in September where I had tons of tests. I had to drive home every freaking weekend to go shoot weddings back home, and I had other projects. And I'm telling you, I stayed up day and night. There were some nights I freaking stayed up till 3 or 4 doing edits that were due because I was still doing some stuff with Growing Media and Marcus, and they needed them for shoots. I was up till 3 or 4, a few hours of sleep, and I would wake up so freaking tired. I'd hop on my one wheel 3 minutes before class right across campus, and I'd be so tired in class I didn't even know what he taught. I literally would fall asleep. And then I'd get my homework done, and I'd do the same thing over again, and I put in the freaking work.
No, you did. Dude, you were grinding, bro.
It was a grind. It's
you was
those.
making a ridiculous amount of money and going to school and like getting everything done. I don't even know how you did that, to be honest.
It was hard.
It like when I was your age in college, I was an idiot. Well, I was actually I was 2 years younger than you, so I was still an idiot. At your age, I was a lot more smart.
And I'm not gloating
Dropped
either,
out,
but I did get A's and B's.
Yeah, you
I never
killed
got a
it.
C, and it was a lot of freaking work. Like, I don't like to fail, so that's why I just had to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, and literally, like, it's the only reason why we're doing this stuff. Like, you came to Nashville. I didn't even know I wanted to move to Nashville when you went to Nashville.
Yeah, it's
You know what
crazy.
I'm saying? Like, I remember you were like, yeah, maybe we can like have something in Nashville or whatever. And then I was like, Nashville, whatever. And then we came up a few times, and I was like, dang, I like Nashville.
You know what's crazy is,
Nashville's sick.
I thought the same thing. When I lived in Southern Illinois, it's so weird thinking of moving to anywhere larger than where you're already at.
Yeah.
When I come to Nashville now, I feel like I could live in freaking Colorado in the mountains. I feel like I could live in Scottsdale, Arizona. I feel like I could live in freaking...
Anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere.
Dude.
Sorry, Perry, I haven't really looked to the right.
You gotta,
I felt like I
you gotta get out of the small towns, man. The small towns will suck you bone dry.
So, so let's talk about Marcus's story. Enough about me.
I mean, it's
I'm actually gonna check the cameras too while he talks.
Yeah, do that real quick.
All right, you talk to him.
All right, so I went to college for soccer. Played 2 years of soccer. I was like majoring, I think, in biology first, like so pre-med. Actually, no, first it was like athletic training or something
Were
like
you
that.
doing like computer science or IT or something for like 2
Yeah,
weeks?
2 weeks, bro. That was the first 2 weeks. So it was computer science.
yeah.
So it's your first 2 weeks. I was like, okay, I can't learn JavaScript. It's terrible, whatever it was. So then I went to athletic training. Hated that. And then I went to biology. I was always good at biology, like in high school. So I started doing that. I was killing it, actually. It was fun. But it was like a lot, like a whole lot. So to be a
sounds
doctor,
like it.
yeah, it was crazy. But then I always knew, like about a year into it, I was like, there's no way I'm going to go to a freaking building and work there all day. Not a chance I'm doing that. And plus, I didn't want to like have to study for all the MCAT stuff and everything at college. Yeah, none of that stuff. So then I ended up switching to like I want to say communications because I wanted to do video editing. And that's what I really, really had a passion for. So
Yeah.
because I started making videos, when I was like 9 years old, all this good stuff. And in 2017, that summer, so this was 2 years into college. That summer, I started vlogging a lot and making YouTube videos. So I went back and I left college, or my first college for soccer. I left there and went to SIU for like 2 weeks. I was like, I'm going to do communications. I'll be able to start editing and doing all this stuff. I'll vlog in college. It'll be dope. And it didn't turn out dope at all. I went there for 2 weeks, 10 grand, actually
Jeez.
13 grand.
Yeah,
you
he
missed the
actually had to
deadline.
pay it. This is no
Yeah,
cap.
13 grand. I had to freaking talk them down to
What was the deadline you missed? How many days?
2 days.
2 days.
Yeah.
Was it really just 2 days?
No, it was 2 days.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 2 days, missed the deadline, had to pay $13,000.
He missed the dropout deadline. I've
talked
actually
to-
dealt with that before with textbooks.
Yeah.
The return, I was so
Dude, I
pissed,
never
even though
bought a
it was
textbook.
not
They
that
don't
much
care.
money. It was
They
not
don't
that much
care.
money, but I'm still I'm pissed. I get so mad about comments and stuff like that.
It's insane. And they don't care at all. They're like, oh, you missed 2 days? Okay, well, here, pay up.
You think it'd be prorated?
You would,
Like more than that.
You would think they'd be like, oh, you missed by 2 days. Here, don't pay your life savings.
Or
You know
just
what I mean?
They want your money. They want your money.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. So
And
no,
and I don't know if everybody knows, but college debt is the only debt that you can't bankrupt on, so you're stuck with it for life.
Yeah, it's extortion.
So again, you're literally like, if you rack up $100K in college debt, that's not something you could just go bankrupt, or even though Bernie Sanders is trying to give it to free or whatever, but it's not something you can just get rid of. You literally have to pay it.
yeah, as of this recording right now, if you will be with your student debt forever, like until you die.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
your
it
student
might
debt,
change soon.
your student
Who
debt will go to your
knows?
freaking kids.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Unless you
insane.
make a
And
lot of
also,
money.
college costs
Yeah.
way too much money.
Yeah, unless you make a
in
bunch
most
of money.
these places.
And like around 100K is probably average, right?
Well, this is the
For-
thing.
for
For
debt.
what?
For debt for 4 years.
More than that.
More than that. I guess it depends where you go.
Well,
Because
more
McKendree
than
was
that for-
$45,000
Yeah,
a
dude.
year.
Yeah, it depends on where you go, but
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of universities are really expensive. Unless you go to a public, it's not
I
as much, but-
okay, if you're gonna go to school and just want to get a degree in something basic or learn the basics and then go on your own, JUCO is the way to go.
Like
Like
100% agree
community
with that. Yeah.
Yeah. What? And we're actually working SIUC and the foundation. They're actually working with colleges on bringing kids straight from JUCO to SIU and making a roadmap. Like, hey, save up, make more money, and then come to SIU. We want to help you grow from there.
Yeah.
So JUCO, first off the bat, taught me so much. I had a lot of free time. I wasn't committed. It wasn't expensive. And you kind of pick your own schedule, and you get to work a ton on the side. I had so much free time in JUCO.
Yeah. I like though how we have like different experiences. Like you went to
Yeah.
JUCO, you went to 4 year, all
Well,
4 years. Or did you go to
First
JUCO?
2 were community college, so
Okay,
it was
you-
like really cheap.
Okay, cool. So
That
you
was
did
like the best
same
thing I've ever done.
Yes, I didn't go to community
Exactly.
college.
See, we went to JUCO.
Yeah, but then you have me. So college is good also, and then you have me, and I don't have a lot of great things to say about college, which kind of sucks. I love some of the people that work in some of the universities we work with, and like I think there's a lot of things that are broken in college.
100%.
And also there's some people that just aren't cut out for college. I just wasn't cut out for college. I was cut out for
Yeah.
soccer. That was amazing, and we got to travel and do all
I'm
this
out
fun
of
things
school,
and
yeah.
train and all that stuff. I hated every bit of class. I hated it so much. I thought the kids that were with me in college had no idea why they wanted to be there, and that's why I dropped out. I looked around in my class at like 2 p.m. one day. I looked around and I said, "This person right here doesn't know what she wants to do. This person right here doesn't know what he wants to do. The teacher is giving me an assignment that I do not want to do at all. Like,
So
at all.
true.
I'm not about to go
Yeah.
scour the campus to make some fake story that I can write as a news article. I don't want to do any of that kind of stuff.
I think I know what it is. So I think what it is people like us, we don't want to work hard for low value. We want to work our asses off for a lot of value. And what I mean by that is I don't want to go into class working my butt off, studying all this stuff for a freaking test that honestly doesn't really mean anything. But I'm going to work my butt off to freaking build a company and be the best I can in video creation and VR production and all this stuff.
I think it's because we're very competitive. I'm very, very competitive.
Yeah.
So I hate losing, but I also just
But he hates losing.
I
But
hate
ROI,
losing,
boys,
and I
ROI.
really
Some
hate
things
having.
I crack up at. It feels like a loss, but it was just like, yo, like we just rescheduled the meeting.
Yo, I really hate like having a cap. Like I said before, like I hate like having an idea like, oh, you're gonna make $60,000 a year this year, and you might get your bonus for $5,000. I would literally go to sleep. Like, that sounds awful.
We don't like caps.
I hate caps.
Caps.
So that's one thing.
Okay.
But yeah, so I went to college and then I dropped out. I had to pay $9,500 back because I talked him down from 10 or 13K.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, terrible. But then I started my business. So when I dropped out, I came back and worked construction for a year while I was building a company.
Yeah.
It was more like 8 months until I could go full time in video, and I would do a little bit of construction there on the side.
Mhm.
And then I built up my clientele, and that was just like from absolutely zero to I ended up making. I'll say some numbers like just so everybody can understand. And this is not to flex. I don't make this much anymore because we were building a company and all this stuff, and there's a lot of sacrifice. But when I built something from $0 to a little over $200,000 in a year, just by myself, like doing stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's not the flex at all. It doesn't matter. But I am like it's goal oriented. And really, $200,000 is not a lot. You can't retire your parents. You really can't buy the car you want. You can't really buy a house.
You could buy the car.
You could buy a car you want, but like you can't do a lot of things that you can do if you're really, really killing it.
Yeah.
So it's not as much as you think it is. But working through all that stuff, and then Hunter going to college,
And then Perry,
vibrating.
then Perry like doing what he does now that's completely opposite. So
Yeah, I want to say like experience wise, like I feel like you learn more on the job. Like if you're going the job route, like than in college, like the first like 2 months at my actual job, then I did like the whole like college experience. It's crazy.
So like for example,
like,
Julia.
I feel like I graduated college
Again?
like, not knowing anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then you go to the job, you learn all the new stuff on site. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what would you say to people? How could they simply win? Let's do 2 examples, okay? First example, Perry, I want to hear from you. How could you give people advice to simply win that they don't want to go to college? Like they're creatives and they don't feel like school is fit for them. How could they win?
Yeah, I feel like it depends what creatives they are. Say like video editing, for example.
Yeah.
You can reach out to so many people that need video editing. Like it's crazy, like being down here and like knowing that's possible. Like I feel like I go back home, like in Iowa, and like land so many clients now that I know it's possible because I've been around people that have been like that have been able to do that. Yeah. And then there's so many different ways on the internet, dude. Like you can reach out to anybody you want. Like
and Skillshare, like you have
you have all these resources, but like it sounds like everybody says that you have these resources, but it's just how you use them. For example, I reached out to this talent agency because I did some like background research on people and like got a trial for this big YouTuber, like to edit for him. And they sent me hard drives and stuff and like did trials for him. Like that would have been like a monthly client, but I didn't accept it. It was like a little too much work for the pay. But starting out, you can do so many of those different jobs and just there's so many opportunities out there that you don't know they're there.
Yeah.
Real quick, these cameras cut out at 30 minutes?
These are all A7S? No, they don't. Yeah.
All right. So basically, what value would you give someone? And I have something I'm going to spin off of this for you.
I'll double check just to make sure.
Okay. What advice would you give people who might want to go to JUCO first? I know what I'm going to say, but what advice would you give? Like, hey, I'm going to go try out junior college for 2 years, maybe get my associates. Yeah. And then what should they do during that time? What advice?
I feel like that's a very like crucial time to like figure out what you want to do. Like if you're going to be a creative. Yeah. Like it's not that expensive to do it. Yep. And like you're learning the basics, connecting with people, networking. Yeah. I feel like that's a safe route. If you don't really know what you're doing. It'll take a little bit of time though. Yeah. So if you really have something already nailed down and like you just go full force with that. Yeah. But if you don't really know, like in the creative field, you just do both because it's like pretty risk free to be honest.
What I thought is like, okay, people are like, I got to go to 4 years, man, to get my degree, and then I'll learn it all, and then when I get out, I'm going to be safe because I got a degree and someone's going to hire me. You know what I think safer is if you do want to go to school and at least get some sort of degree, go to a JUCO for 2 years, okay? That whole time, work your butt off building your company up. You have 2 whole years. You should be making enough money already past what you'd be making if you got hired right out of your 4-year without building up anything. So that is so much more just secure and safer, in my opinion, than
and you aren't going to go in like
than just going to school and not working the whole time or working a regular job while not building up your business or your dream. Yeah. Than going to JUCO for 2 years, building it up in those 2 years, and you're probably going to be making more than it would. So that's what I think secure. If you just do, if you're going to do school, that's probably the best bet.
Dude,
but
there's some 2-year degrees that you can get. Like you make a lot more than a 4-year degree too.
And also there's certificates you can get, like lineman school and stuff like that. I don't know what certificates or whatever they hand out they're called, but it's not like a full 4-year thing. It's like they're making them now, and that's honestly how I feel like nursing school should be. I saw my fiance go through nursing school. And you don't have much experience towards the end, or at least a ton. And she learned more in that than anything else in the on-hand stuff, especially in nursing because you're actually interacting. And then also, I feel like 4 years to do all that is just like way too much. I feel like there could be a fast-track way where you learn a little bit, but then you go out and practice it, and then you're in a real-life situation for like 2 years. And I think you could, and I'm not discounting nursing because there's a ton that goes into it and depending on what you're going into, but I just saw so many things seeing her go through it that is so like crazy.
Yeah. And there's some people that are 100% cut out for college. They need to go.
Yeah, and they want to be doctors and they want to write papers. I don't get it. I could not do it.
I had a friend that he went to school to be a nurse, and like he loved that, and that's what he wanted to do. Yeah. And he killed it. He had a freaking 4.0 the whole time. Great with money. He went and had scholarships the whole time. So he actually came out with like, I think it was like $15,000 a head.
Wow.
Yeah, I made money.
Well, that's
in
the goal.
college.
Yeah. I mean, if you can do that,
paid
then
him.
go.
They paid him to go. Like it was awesome. So there's 100% different ways to do it. But I think if you're in the creative field, really take a second and like audit yourself.
Yeah, be self-aware.
Please be self-aware.
Self-aware.
And think if you're going to college just to waste a little bit of time because you're not sure, just don't go yet.
Yeah,
take
don't
a
go.
year off
Yep.
and figure out what you want to do.
Live with your freaking parents if you have to.
do
Shout
whatever
out,
you want.
you know what? Shout out to Jack Umlin, which is Matt's brother, and Jamie, because they basically both just quit school. They were going to some school. They didn't even know what they were going to do. They were just going to get a degree, partying, whatever. And they're like, you know what? We have they love cars. Okay. You love cars. What can you do? They love detailing and all that stuff. Jamie's really good at doing ceramic coating and all that. So I'm telling you guys an example outside of creative field. Okay. So they went back to live with their parents right now to save money and work a job where they make enough money to live. And they're like, what, 20? So they're 20. They have so much time. They're 20. Most people don't graduate a 4-year school till about 22, depending on your birthday, maybe 23 or whatever. So you're literally, he's 2 years ahead. And by the time someone else graduated, they could have a full business running that's making them and others money. And so what they're doing is they're doing a full like car detailing service right to your driveway. I think it's called
Driveway Details.
Driveway Details, which is sick. Their logo's sick. I just want to shout them out because they actually did it. And yeah, they're taking a risk, but they've also worked their butt off. They've already shown they can make money and work hard. So if you already have that, you're going to win because you can just do something and they're already working extra to make sure it happens by having more money and all that. Shout out them because they are doing it.
Yeah.
Dude, they're killing it.
I think people underestimate how long a year is. Like, there's so many things that can happen.
Brotherdale's not even.
If you have
been in
if you have
LLC
2
for a
years,
year.
if you're 2 years ahead of people that, and I always put it into like a competition, but like if you're 2 years ahead of the people that you went to college with, and you have that much more experience, that much time to freaking get ahead, it's crazy. Like Jack and Jamie, they're gonna have a career in
And
2 years
experience.
when these people come out of college. Yeah,
They're learning how to build a website. Okay, even though it's Squarespace, they're still learning how to build a website.
It's so hard,
you can make a business learning how to make Squarespace websites and make 6 figures a year. You just get good at it. You do templates and you just recycle, and they can be basic. But they're learning how to build a website, which is good. They're learning how to place logos and text and how to write copy. You're learning how to market, how to word it, right? And you're reaching out to other people to get advice. They're reaching out to us. Okay, they're learning accounting because they're saving up. They're figuring out how to get an LLC. You don't actually usually get an LLC in college. You don't know the steps. You go get an attorney for freaking papers. All right, go get papers. So you're learning how to work with lawyers. You're buying the right supplies. You're doing your research.
Yeah, dude,
they're looking at vehicles for their van. Yeah. They're learning so much real life experience on their own dimes and own terms. Oh
they're already ahead
it just
of like
blows
so
my mind, and it's like they're ahead of so many people, and they're not even ahead yet. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not even making a ton of money yet, but they're already ahead by just
most
making.
People don't like take that step to actually do that, like drop out and like.
It does take a lot. It does take a lot.
It's scary. It takes a lot. But there's something fun about it.
Something fun about risks.
It's so much fun about risk. Yeah. Oh, it gets me going.
I love risk.
but no,
yeah.
It's incredible. There's a lot of opportunities in the world. You just got to look at them and like kind of figure it out. If you want it bad enough, you'll get it.
100%.
Yeah. Perry did.
Yeah.
He moved down here. We already kind of talked about that on this, but
yeah,
Perry took that risk, and I think it's paid out well, and it's going to.
You know an opportunity when you see one. So
yeah, no, you do. Well, that's the thing. People know that they see an opportunity, but they don't jump at it.
Yeah.
And it's so aggravating. It's like just take it, and then they don't take it, and you're like, it just drives you up a wall.
You have to make a change in life sometimes. Just take a risk.
Yeah. I think Ed Mallett, we were talking about him last podcast, but he says if you like a really good way to shift the way that one only had 4% left.
All right, we're about to end it anyway, so.
Yeah, we're so good. It's like a really good way to like shift your life or like make a dramatic change in your business or your personal life or whatever is if you do the thing you want to do like really, really freaking hard for like a week straight. Like do something really crazy, like jump into it and just change it like dramatically. And you don't have to do it you can do it for longer than a week obviously, but like you just jump into it. So say that's kind of what I did when I dropped out of college. I literally was in college at one moment. Literally the next moment, I was not in college anymore. Yeah.
As soon as you
say like
papers,
I got up out of class during class.
That had to feel free.
She sent it to me. She gave me the papers. I said, "All right, I'm done. got up, left. I don't even think my school stuff, like my binder and all that stuff, I don't even think I brought that with me, to be honest.
You just left it on the
Stowed
table.
away?
I just left. I walked down SIU campus. SIU.
I would have loved to see this.
I signed the paper.
I hope when I get to heaven, I can see replays.
Yeah. And then I was done. Like it was like a 10-minute process. And then all of a sudden, my whole life just changed. Like,
You think
boom.
they make the process harder, but they're still getting their money, so they don't really
No,
care.
they don't care. They don't care at all. They're like, we got you 2 days. but if you like change something dramatically in your life, and if you really want that thing, then I think that's it's a really crazy way you can like wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, just do it one day and see what happens. You know what I mean?
I got two tomorrow.
And then the next day, just do it again.
Yeah.
And it's like a really huge mindset change.
Yeah.
Dude, if you force
Shocks your
yourself to
system.
like no other decision, you start grinding hard.
Yeah.
Just like you dropped out, you have no other decision or like no other option.
That's true. You
just-
don't have an
you just have
option.
to
And if
grind.
you, that's when people, honestly, that's when people mostly lose. You hear these stories of people that like would drop out and they don't make it. They're either literally taking way too big of a risk, they weren't self-aware, or they just dropped out and didn't put the work in.
That's
Because
that one's a big
frankly, you
thing.
could go mow lawns, you could go do something to make money until you build up a company. And not every company is going to make it. There's huge statistics on that, and that doesn't always mean you're dropping out to start your own thing. That may mean you're just not going in that career path anymore. You could go work for someone else. You could go get a video gig doing something else, and then you save up to get your camera, then you do weddings, and you save up to build your company. It may take 5 years. It's not going to mean you're going to win right off the bat. But again, debt and all that plays into it. So
Yeah, there's just a lot of ways to make money while you're trying to work on your dreams, and
Yeah.
you can do both, and you don't have to be in college to do that. You can, like, I work construction, and it was awful.
Yeah.
Like, I hated every single moment of it. But it was like
when school's
motivation.
over, dude, I didn't. When I realized I didn't ever have to do school again was when the fall came around. I realized I don't have to enroll in classes.
I don't have to write papers anymore.
I don't have to think about tests no more. I did that for 20 something years. Or well, I mean, once I got of age of school all the way up to 20, so 18, 19 years, whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's so freeing. And honestly, the freedom is way better than anything else.
The coolest part is seeing somebody else do that and like realize like you can be free
Yeah.
to do what you want to do. It's the
Yeah.
coolest thing. I just saw Colton's dad posted on Facebook. I was driving my car on the way home. I was like, dang,
America, baby.
like that's so cool. Like he gets to see his kid do some really
Oh,
cool.
did he did
Yeah, he
Colton's dad talk
said
about
some-
Colton?
Yeah, going to LA.
I
And
saw
stuff.
that briefly, yeah.
Yeah, it was so cool. I was like, that's
I didn't
insane.
see that.
Yeah.
I don't really get on Facebook, but I need to hop on there.
It was awesome.
But
But yeah, just live your dreams, kids.
yeah,
Live your dreams.
live your dreams. All right, guys, that's a 40-minute episode or close to it.
It's a longer episode.
Thank Perry for hopping on here. We do some just us two, and then we have Perry hop on. We didn't talk about our LA trip. That's going to be a whole
Hopefully it has to
podcast
be.
in
Has to
itself.
Let's do that one
I
after
would-
we drop the vlog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about after we drop the vlog because we don't want to spoil anything. But I think if we record that and have it out later, that'd
Just
be
say
dope.
there's 5 hours of vlog footage.
And Perry's already cut it up into a beautiful, blissful masterpiece.
We made a trailer.
The trailer's sick.
But it's going to be a documentary.
I know. I can't wait.
But the
So
dogs.
real quick recap. Perry, go real fast. Just like real fast. What's your takeaway from this episode?
This episode?
Yeah.
Just grind, and there's always an opportunity there. And you'll find yourself once you put yourself in the situation. I don't like when you drop out of school, like you have no other option. So like you just have to grind. I don't know. That's when you find
Ooh, I
yourself.
like
That's
that.
like
Yeah. I'd say
it.
you gotta find yourself.
Clip that, Colton.
What's yours?
My takeaway is be self-aware. Literally, if it means you got to go on a trip or something to figure out what you're going to do, or work in a thing for a week or job shadow, figure out what you'd like to do and be self-aware. Just that's more than anything. I knew what I wanted to do. And when you know what you want to do, you'll take action. Because when you don't know how to take action because you don't know the next steps. So to move forward, know what you're going to do. Kind of like Marcus did, was dropping out. He knew what he wanted to do. If he didn't know what he was going to do, he'd stay in school. But he knew what he wanted to do, so he took action.
Yep. Ooh,
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good.
take action.
Yeah. Just if you like college, if it's for you, if you want to be something that requires a college degree, do it 100%. If it doesn't require a college degree, look at other options. Like for sure, like do it, or you're either wasting a lot of money, or I don't know what your problem is, honestly. So check all the other options. And if you know you don't want college, 100% drop out and go do your own thing, because there's a lot of opportunity.
I got options.
Don't be afraid to grind on something else to make your dreams happen.
Guys, we're ending the episode real quick. something happened. Peace out. Episode 6, I think this was.
6, yeah.
Of Simply Winning. There's a lot more coming. I'm going to get some actual people that you guys haven't heard of yet in our space. Hop on here. Different business people and stuff. Get different experiences and viewpoints.
With the
Coming soon.
The legendary Zach Tipperman.
Hopefully we can get him on. Zach, shout out Zach.
Yeah.
All right. Perry, appreciate you hopping on for this episode.
Anytime.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace, boys.
Let's go.